Hello all, welcome back to Trinity Software. In this video, we will analyze student mental health using Python, Pandas, SQL and Matplotlib. This analysis uses a Kaggle dataset focused on depression, anxiety, sleep hours, academic pressure and more. By the end of this video, you will understand how to explore real-world survey data and extract insights with visuals. This is the dataset we are using and we need to import all these packages. Make sure you have installed all these packages in your system. Execute it. Then we need to load the CSV into a data frame. So let's create the data frame. df is equal to pandas read underscore CSV method. pd dot read underscore CSV method. The file name is mental health survey dot CSV file, which is stored in the same location. Okay, execute it. So we got the data frame. Now we are going to connect to SQLite database. We have already imported SQLite 3 package. Use SQLite 3.connect method. So let's create a variable con equal to SQLite 3.connect method. Give the database name here. Let me name it as student mental health .db. Execute SQLite 3. Okay, now we need to write the data frame to a SQL table. Make use of to underscore SQL method. Let me name the table as students. Okay, and the second argument is the connection and an argument if exists. If it exists already, we are going to replace it equal to replace and index. By default, it is true. Make it as false. Okay, so we have converted to SQL. It returns the number of rows as we have seen here. The total number of rows will be 87. Next, we explore the structure of the data. Let us look at the first few rows. In pandas, we have this df.head method. Will display the first 5 rows. Okay, it displays 5 rows and all the columns, 21 columns are displayed. Now we can perform the same operation using SQL query. So let me give q equal to to select everything you can give star. Select star from the table name is students and we need only the first 5 rows. If it is first 5, give it as 5 or limit 10 means first 10 rows. Semicolon and then close the quotes. Now in order to read the query, we need to make use of pandas read underscore SQL underscore query method. It takes 2 arguments. The first argument is q and second argument is the connection. Will display 10 rows into 21 columns. First 10 rows is displayed. Okay, then let us see the summary of the data frame. This can be obtained using info method. df.info method will give you the summary of the data frame. So here we can see all the columns. Column name is given and not null values and the corresponding data type. Okay, now we can find out the total number of duplicate rows in the data frame by using df.duplicated method .sum will give you the number of duplicate rows in the data frame. If it returns 0 means that there is no duplicate rows at all. And we can also find out the number of missing values for each column in the data frame. Use this method df.isNA method .sum method will give you the columns where there are missing values. So for each and every column, missing values count will be displayed here. For all the columns, it is 0. It means that there is no missing value at all. Okay, now let us find out the number of unique values for each column in the data frame. df.nUnique method. For each column, for example, gender contains 2 unique values, male and female. Age, 8 categories are there in 9 universities and it goes on. Okay. How many unique universities are there in the dataset? We have already seen the number of universities in the dataset is 9. You can just give df of university dot nUnique will give you 9 as the answer. You can perform the same thing using an SQL query. q is equal to select count of distinct university. You can name it as university count from students table. Okay. You can use this pd dot read underscore SQL underscore query. Okay, now execute it. We got the university count as 9. This read underscore SQL query will return a data frame. Then we can also get unique values from the university. We can use df of university.unique in pandas. So these are the unique values for the university. We can retrieve the same thing using query. Copy this. We need only the distinct university. So remove this count. Select distinct university from students. Execute it. So we got all the distinct universities. 9 universities are displayed. Okay, this is how we can get the unique values from the columns by just giving select distinct and the column name from students table. Okay, we are going to perform 3 types of analysis: univariate, bivariate and multivariate. Univariate analysis means that analysis of one variable at a time. We need to find the number of students in each university. That can be obtained using df of university dot value counts. Execute it. So PU contains the maximum number of students. Now we can write an SQL query to find out the number of students in each university. We need to select university and then count of star and name it as students count. From the students table, group by university. Okay, and you execute it. So we got the university and students count. Here it is not in order. If you want it to be in order, you can give order by students underscore count. And if you want it in descending order, just give DESC. So you will get the university and the corresponding students count in the descending order. Okay. Next we shall find out how many UG and PG students are in the dataset based on the degree. We need to select undergraduate and postgraduate, that is degree level. Select degree level and count of star as degree count from students, and then we have to group by the degree level. We will get the count of students. In postgraduate there are only 2 students and undergraduate 85 students are present. Similarly, we can also find out how many students are in each major. So degree major, let us obtain that using the same query. Instead of degree level, degree major count star as major count from students group by degree major. So there are 4 degree majors. Data science contains a maximum number of students. Then comes computer science, IT and then software engineering. So now let us save these data frames. We are going to draw pie charts for major and university. So let me save it as major DF. And for university, let me name it as uni underscore DF. Here it is major underscore DF. Now let's draw the pie charts for major and university. We are going to draw a figure with the 2 axes. Figure comma axis is equal to using plot dot subplots 1 comma 2. Figure size equal to 11 comma 6. For major underscore DF, we are setting the index set underscore index degree major dot plot AX is equal to axis of 0. Kind, you're going to draw pie chart y equal to major count. You can give how many percentage of students are present using percentage 1.0f percentage. Title equal to degree pie chart. Okay, so this is for major DF. Similarly, you can plot it for university DF. Let me copy this and make the changes. univdf.setIndex university.plot access of 1. The university count is obtained as students count. Students count. Title is university pie chart. Now access of 0.legend. LOC location is specified as upper left. Similarly for access of 1, the location is upper left. We can adjust the layout to prevent overlapping by giving plot.tight_layout method. Okay, execute it. So figure comma access. So we got the chart now for both degree and university. Here data science contains a maximum number of students 47%, then 39% of students are in computer science, then 10% in IT and 3% in software engineering. 64% of students belong to the university PU. Okay. Similarly, we can also find out the number of students in each year. We need to use academic year. Academic year. Okay. On executing this query, we got the number of students in each year. We can infer that the number of students are more in first year, 34 students, and less in fourth year, only 10 students. Okay, now let's see the gender distribution. Let's write a query and then draw a bar chart. So Q is equal to select gender and their count of star from students table, group by gender. We can name it as gender df. And let's print this gender df. Execute it. Count star, we can name it as gender count. The female count is 24 and male count is 63. Okay. We can also give order by the gender count in descending order. So male count is more, 63. Okay, now let us draw the bar chart using SNS. SNS dot bar plot. We have to give data is equal to gender underscore df. And x value should be gender. Y should be the gender count. Gender underscore count. We can also give the palette. You can select any value for palette from the documentation. I have selected bright. Okay, you can give a title for this plot. Gender distribution. Okay. Gender underscore df. Okay, fine. So we got this gender distribution. And now we have some interesting questions. How does the gender of the student impact the mental health? We can make use of SQL's aggregate function to find out how the gender impact the mental health. So we can write the query grouping by gender. So select gender and then round off average of the column is going to be depression, anxiety. Okay, average of depression, comma 2. You can name it as average depression. Similarly, round off average of anxiety as average anxiety. You can infer that female, the average depression is 3.58, whereas male it is 3.08. Not much difference. And anxiety is also slightly higher in case of female students. Comparatively, female students suffer from depression and anxiety than male students. Okay, so it gives the values from 1 to 5. 1 means very less anxiety, 5 means high anxiety. Find out how the sleeping hours impact the mental health. using the aggregate function. Select this column average sleep hours. Average underscore sleep column. Round of average of depression as average depression and average anxiety. From the students, we are grouping it by average sleep hours. And also we are ordering it by average sleep. Okay, when executing it, here are 3 categories of average sleep. Based on that, you can see the average depression and anxiety. When the number of sleeping hours is more, you can infer that the average depression and anxiety is lesser. When the number of sleeping hours is less, the students are subject to more depression and anxiety, right? Okay, next we can write an SQL query to count the students based on depression. So this is similar to the gender distribution. So select depression and count of star as depression count. From students, they are grouping by depression column. Okay. So here the depression values are 1 to 5. If we see the count, more number of students belong to the category 3, 21, then 20 students are suffering from high depression. Okay, you can draw a bar chart. Plot dot figure fixed size equal to 8, 6. Axis equal to SNS dot bar plot. Data is equal to, let us name it as depression df. Data is equal to dep underscore df. And x will be the depression and y is equal to depression count. In a palette type, let me select palette is equal to deep and hue should be specified depression. Okay, now we can give the title as depression distribution. Okay. So we got the bar chart. Here depression count should be integer, but we got it as floating point number. So we can convert that into integer by setting like this: ax dot y axis dot get underscore major underscore locator dot set underscore params. You can set integer equal to true. Okay, y-axis now it will be converted to integer so that we can check the count. If you want to specify the count in each bar, you can use a for loop. Okay, for I in ax dot containers, you can give ax dot bar underscore label of I. So here you will get the count. Maximum number of students belong to the category 3, then 20 students are suffering from high depression. Similarly, we can write an SQL query to count the students based on anxiety. Select anxiety and then the count of star as anxiety count from students and group by anxiety. We got anxiety and the corresponding count. We can also draw a pie chart to represent anxiety and depression distribution. We can name this as anxiety underscore df equal. You can draw the pie chart. Okay, so here I have given labels and values. Anxiety of df, anxiety and anxiety count. Set title. Legend labels I have used list comprehension label and a corresponding value. Legend is placed in the upper left with the title anxiety. Similarly for depression. So let us see the output of this pie chart. We got anxiety distribution and depression distribution. So here we can find scale from 1 to 5 and the corresponding count. And the number of students who are suffering from severe depression, that is 20 here, and here it is 17, and the corresponding percentages mentioned in the pie chart. Okay, we can also categorize the students by depression score using SQL select case. Q equal to select age, comma, gender, and also the depression. Case when depression less than or equal to 2, then we will categorize that as low depression. When depression equal to 3, then it is considered as moderate, and when depression greater than or equal to 4, then it is considered as high depression. Else unknown. If there is any other value, we are just going to name it as unknown. But in our dataset, there is no such case. And we can name categorized data as depression level from the table students. Okay, that's it. So we can execute it by using pd.read underscore SQL underscore query q comma con. So when you execute, we got 87 rows and 4 columns. We have categorized all the students based on depression. So if the depression is 2 means, and they're categorized under depression level low, 3 means moderate, 5 means high. Okay. We can also categorize students by anxiety score. So same query. Here we are not considering any other thing. Only select case when anxiety. When anxiety is less than or equal to 2, then they are categorized as mild anxiety. When anxiety is equal to 3, moderate anxiety. When anxiety is greater than or equal to 4, then severe anxiety. Okay, end as anxiety level. And also I need the count of the students. Count to store as number of students from students and group by anxiety level. Okay, save it as an underscore df, and let's check what is present under an underscore df now. So here we can see the number of students for each anxiety level. More number of students are suffering from severe anxiety. We can see this in a bar chart. Plot dot figure fixed size equal to 6,5. We're going to do plot dot bar anxiety underscore df. From this data frame, we are considering anxiety underscore level, and from anxiety underscore df also the number of students. We can mention a color. Okay, we can set the title for the plot. Plot dot title student count by anxiety level. Can give plot dot x label anxiety level and plot dot y label the number of students. Okay, let's see the output. Okay, number of students. So student count by anxiety level. 40 students are suffering from severe anxiety and 28 students mild anxiety, and moderate anxiety is below 20. Okay, this is what we infer. That's it with the part 1 of this tutorial. In the part 2 of this mental health analysis, We'll be doing bivariate analysis and multivariate analysis for the same dataset. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, kindly share and subscribe.